Hey, I was jamming to the countdown music.
Y'all jamming to the
busting it down to the countdown music. We was back here jamming. Hey y'all.
Hey yo.
What's going on, everyone?
Once again, it is 8:00. It's Wednesday, hump day in the east. 7 o'clock Central.
That's right.
6 o'clock Mountain.
H-Town.
On the West Coast. But welcome back to the latest episode of the Guys Podcast.
Yes.
How we doing this evening, people?
We are good. We are good over here. I'm chilling. Happy hump day, y'all. Everybody across the lands. What's up, y'all? Party people in the building. What's up,
That's
Sam?
right.
Sam, I hope you on point tonight. I know she's gonna be on
yes.
point. I already know. Sam comes through with she's a MVP.
The knowledge. The knowledge.
Sam, what's up? Street team general. What's happening? How
Man,
you
look, everything good. Everything good. You know, I know y'all went into this a couple days ago, but F. Ben Simmons. You know, I was a real supporter of Ben, but this is whatever. But you know, we'll whatever. But look, everything.
Tayson, here's what I will allow you to do, because I think Becca needs to get. I want Becca to know about this Ben Simmons situation. That's gonna be your icebreaker. We're gonna do that. That's what we're gonna do. But check this out.
School me. I don't know nothing about the sports.
Oh, hey, just.
So you gotta tell me. I don't know. I only know about the Kyrie Irving situation. I don't know about this person.
Well,
you gotta put me on.
We'll talk about.
I got you.
We'll talk about Ben Simmons. I think the Kyrie Irving situation is a whole other pod, and I think we're gonna part off of that. But anyway,
it really is.
We really could.
Before we get into the shits, let's of course we short staffed tonight, but that's okay. We go keep it going. Shout out to the squad that's not here. We got a shout out there in parts unknown. Merv,
right?
Bender somewhere, because y'all know how his birthday was yesterday, and I don't even know if the brother's alive. So I hope nothing but good things for that brother, because y'all know how he get down in his born month. So he probably out there. Hopefully he's conscious somewhere. But knowing he's probably somewhere partying his ass off, drinking, doing his thing. Shout out to that brother.
Read the comment, cousin. He's acting like a real.
Wow.
Who said that?
Okay, so
that's crazy. That's had to be Sean.
Okay, so there's
Sean,
that.
Boy. Okay, Sean.
It's only 8:03. It's only 8:03.
8:03, my dude.
Let's get back to shouting out the folks. Mark, shout out to the brother Mark. Mark may or may not be on later. Shout out Tina B. Did I shout out Sean? Did I shout out Sean? Well, shout out to Sean out there in parts.
Yeah, you did say from parts unknown. He out there.
Okay, got you. Well, shout out to that. That's TJ. Shout out to the homie TJ watching out there. Anyway, shout out to our viewers out there on Facebook. Shout out to our people out there on YouTube. We are streaming right now on Twitter. Follow us, Guys Podcast 2. You can check us out on Twitter right now. Of course, we're streaming on our page. We're streaming on our group page as well. And shout out to Primetime Sports Wagering, Zingo TV.
Yes.
In there as well. Shout out to all of our partners who are in the background checking us out. Shout out to our wonderful viewers out there on 1 Mile High.
Yes.
Y'all know we love y'all.
What's up, y'all?
Y'all know.
Yes.
Y'all know how we get down.
We love y'all. Thank you so much. Honestly, I don't know if we say it enough, but we really do appreciate y'all, because we could just easily call each other on the phone and talk the shit, but we are on here to converse and engage with y'all, and we couldn't do it without y'all. So thank you very much for all those listening and watching. We appreciate
what I want the viewers to do, I want you to share this, tell a friend, share it to another, share it to friends or whatever, so we get some more viewers. We're gonna get into the shits tonight. But before we do get into the shits, what are y'all drinking on tonight?
Oh.
What you got, Tayson?
I told you I'm still drinking some Douce right here.
I ain't got no problem with it, brother. I ain't got no problem with it.
It's in this red cup.
That's classic.
Red cup.
Ain't never nothing wrong with a solo cup. Ain't never nothing wrong with it. Cause what you got down there? You ain't got nothing. You drive.
No. I'm drinking out of my special cup that was made for me. I don't know if you guys can see it.
Look at that. Little bling.
Blinging with the curls and stuff. So I'm drinking my Stella Rose, my sweet red wine. This is my go-to. Outside of my cheap Bartonora, I'm doing red tonight.
I got something
I feel
new.
a little freaky, a little fancy.
Yeah, I got something new, a little special tonight, man. I want to.
What you got? What you got?
That's a new joint, y'all.
Oh, the cranberry. Oh,
y'all get on my nerves with this Ciroc. Y'all bring out these Ciroc flavors like the Jordans. Like
the
if y'all got the new Ciroc flavor, y'all special or something.
Get involved with it. I know a lot of people don't like the flavors, but I like a little, pomegranate. It's tasty. I'm gonna try not to kill the bottle.
Shout out to Puff.
Try not to kill the bottle. But
Sam says she got that mango fufu bear.
I've heard about that.
I ain't never heard that.
I've heard about that a little bit.
Well, Trey in the building. Shout out to him.
That sounds like gonna put you on your back. That mango fufu.
So let's get this thing started by getting into some icebreakers. Mine is kind of somber. So I'm gonna go ahead and go hand this over to Cuzzo first. Boy. Okay, let's
yeah. All right, y'all.
Let's go here. Let's do this.
Dr. Dre was reportedly served legal documents in connection to divorce settlement while laying his grandmother to rest. Yeah. So I have heard about these people that have to serve, and they will go by extreme means to serve people. And once you touch the paper, you are considered served. So I guess because Dr. Dre really does not come out much, you have to find him when you can. And the person that was serving him these papers for this divorce, this is the longest divorce ever. Like, just
it really is.
Like, just give her the money and just separate. But anyway, so this person happened to have found him at his grandmother's funeral, and while he was at the gravesite, the person served him. So from what I'm hearing, he did not know what it was, took the paper and dropped it. So last news is the papers were dropped on the gravesite and was left there. So if you're ever in a situation where you need to be served, don't come out of the house.
Hold on one second. Say that again. I'm sorry. I was typing something.
The papers. Time to sign them papers. Was given. The papers was taken and then dropped at the gravesite.
Wow.
There.
So that's crazy.
What happens is if somebody is ever serving you, you are to not do anything. Just walk away. Don't even acknowledge or whatever. But the minute that you touch the paper, you do one of these joints, finger to the paper, you are considered served. So you cannot be like, I don't know what it was. You ain't even got to open it. Once your hand touch it, that's it. You are considered served. And if it happens to be at your grandmama's funeral, oh well.
That's a thinker's job.
I think that's crazy. Do you think that that's a line crossed boundary kind of thing, or do you guys feel like whatever, it's my job? I don't care about your grandmother.
Hold up. If the shoe's on the other foot, right? And if you're trying to go up, like imagine if you're her and you're trying to get it like a situation thing, do you care how he gets served?
That's a good point, Tazon.
I do not.
That's a good point. I honestly,
because
go ahead.
No,
if they
because
got to serve you at your funeral, they got to serve your ass.
Yeah.
If you dead and you need to be served, I hope they still pull up to your funeral and still serve you dead. Okay, you got to be served. Do it for
that's wild though. You know what? That's a thankless job though. That's a really a thankless job, because it's like you got to have some type of connection. You got to be like finding different ways to like maneuver. Like, yeah. And like, hold up, you got to understand. You got to think about this too, right? Like, that's probably not the weirdest thing that's ever happened in terms of somebody serving somebody. Like, legit.
I'm sure it hasn't. But he don't come out. The thing is that he's not known to be out in the streets like that. So whoever had to serve him probably had to go through some great lengths to even catch him outside. So at that point, I got to do what I got to do, and I got to serve you. I'm so sorry, it's your grandmother, R.I.P. Nana, but I
got
a job to do. I get paid to do the job.
You know, sorry. My condolences. Have a good day. God bless you.
I agree with y'all, but it's just so fucked up. I will tell you, funerals used to be sacred. not only do they serve, like, apparently they serve divorce papers at funerals now, but they also, if you got a warrant and you got a family member that passed, you might want to proceed with caution if you are, whether as far as attending that funeral or not, because there have been situations where you have had people that have had their mother, father die, and they've had law enforcement waiting outside for them after the funeral to throw them out. So funeral, I mean, if funeral's not off limits, I mean, that's just serving divorce papers. So imagine, hey, I know your mother just died, but yeah, here's this warrant for your arrest. God bless. Rest. I mean, my condolences with you and your family, but your ass is coming with me. That's wild business right there.
That's nasty.
That is, Deanna, if you think about it.
I couldn't imagine being that person getting arrested or served at a funeral. Could you imagine, cousin, at my dad's funeral, somebody came and served somebody? Do you understand me?
We probably would have been fighting.
I would still be in jail. My father passed 11 years ago. I would still be in jail because whatever I do is definitely going to keep me in jail. So while you're there,
I understand I understand.
Arrest me because it's going down.
It is, and it's crazy. Just like you said, it's like you don't want to be on the receiving end of that, like at all. Because especially like a situation like that, I'm like you have no type of respect or anything, but it's like that's a respectless job. It's a thankless job.
That's like when you tow cars. That's like people that tow cars. Like they gotta tow the car, no matter where the car is, what kind of car it is. Person could come out and you don't know. They could have been at a funeral, parked at the wrong place, came to get their car, and the car is gone, and the person's like, "It's gonna cost you $400 to get your car back."
Hey,
it's at the pound.
Folks that tow vehicles, man, they must take a class on not giving a fuck, man, because they will tow. They don't give a damn, boy. They tow. Once they hook your shit up, it's a wrap. They ain't about to let it down for shit.
Yo, I thought when I was in Philly,
be safe out there, people.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, definitely be safe out there.
Because you don't never know what's gonna happen.
What I would like to do before I go into my somber joint, I'm gonna give Tayson the opportunity to educate Becca and to voice his frustrations on this guy right here. This guy. That's all I could put on there.
Oh man, Benjamin Simmons.
So Becca, let me give you some context before Tayson goes forward. Ben Simmons was the number 1 overall draft pick for Philadelphia 76ers in 2000. What year was it?
Good Lord, this is man. I have to go back to the draft.
He's number 1 draft pick a couple years back. Okay.
Okay.
2016.
2016. So he's played with them since last season in the playoffs. He's not very good at shooting free throws. So in the playoffs, pressure moment, he was scared to shoot the ball because he was scared to go to the free throw line.
Oh, so he's like Shaq.
No, Shaq will at least go shoot.
At least he'll try it. At least he'll put like an effort.
Yeah. So this guy didn't shoot the ball. He couldn't take the criticism, and off his own accord, he decided he wasn't going to show up. Now nobody did anything to him. He just didn't perform. He said, "I want to play for the team no more." This, that, and the third. I'm gonna let Tayson take it from here because I want him to get his shit off because he's from Philly. Born and raised, and that's his team. And him and Mark, I have fun getting those brothers take. give it to me, Tayson.
All right, I'm a Ben Simmons I was a Ben Simmons supporter. I was a fan. I always said this to everybody. Him and Embiid could have been the next Magic and Kareem. Legit could have been the next Magic and Kareem.
Okay. Ben
decided this offseason, legit, probably like about a month after the Sixers get eliminated, like, look, you know what? It's time for me and Embiid to part. I want to go on another team. All right. The team is saying to themselves, look, all right, we're going to try to make this happen. However, look, I think people forget that it's a business, right?
Yeah.
If I'm basically, and he's got a max contract, so he's getting paid between like $30-35 million a year. Okay. So if I'm giving my mascot, I'm putting all this time and effort into your head, right? I want a return, right? You know, you want a return. I'm not getting
Right.
if I'm putting like 10 million into or less, or I'm putting 30 million into your head, right? I don't want $1 million. Okay.
Nah,
So they tried to do it. They tried to facilitate a trade. They couldn't do it. So he comes up there and basically starts really going out to the press talking about, look, I'm not showing up to training camp.
But this is all because he had an opportunity to shoot and did not, because he was a little scared.
Well, that, and I think it's a lot more. It's a lot more to it. Whenever he has his first press conference with his new team, that's all. I think all this is gonna come out. So fast forward to training camp, right when it started. They basically told Ben, like, look, if you don't show up, look, you ain't getting your money. Because I didn't know that NBA players get paid quarterly. That's another thing I didn't even know. They get paid quarterly. So his first check was $8 million, like in September, and they withheld all that. They put that in an escrow account, and he didn't show up. So they just kept taking money out of that $8 million until he showed up. So he finally showed up, and he basically showed up unexpectedly. I'm thinking, all right. To me personally, again, I'm a Ben Simmons supporter at this time. I'm saying, all right, maybe this is Ben saying, you know what, I'm gonna come back. I'm going to make amends with the team. Nope. What is this?
He quit.
What does this guy do?
He quit.
This guy decides basically hold up. Remember, this is the first day of training camp. He comes up there very lackadaisical, phone in the pocket, talking. You could tell he just was not engaged. Just not engaged. Second day of training camp. Whatever, right? This is like legit, not training camp, but this is literally right before the season started. This happened legit a couple days ago. Doc told him to run a play.
That's the coach.
Yeah, Doc Rivers, right? Doc Rivers told him to run a play. He said a defensive play. He said no. Doc told him again, look, won't you run this play? He said nope. So Doc was like, get you out of here. You out of here. Kick you out of practice. Now hold up. Now look.
He sounds like he need his diaper change because he's a big ass.
No. Hold on. Now the thing with this is what have you, right? Players get kicked out of practice all the time. That happens a lot in the NBA that a lot of people don't know about. That happens a lot. That happens a lot. But the thing is with the situation, the thing that got worse throughout that whole day, what have you, is when Embiid talked about he never talked to Ben the whole time he was there. Now Ben, like Embiid is like basically our franchise player. If you don't talk to the guy that basically you were supposed to be like 1 and 2 and you don't talk to him the whole time, you're running drills, you don't talk to him not one time, and I'm really upset about this because also this is what Ben is doing to himself, right? And also for us as a culture, whatever, right? We hear about athletes being entitled, right? Rich, spoiled kids, right? Rich, black, spoiled athletes. He's basically going to be the poster child for that. Right?
Oh boy.
And that's what is happening with him because it's and the thing is he's not, sometimes you want the court of public opinion, right? We've seen it all the time. We've seen certain sportscasters do the same thing for for their boys. They'll put like Stephen A does to people, what have you. But he hasn't done that. He hasn't said anything out his mouth since they got eliminated back in May, June, whatever that was. Yeah. We haven't heard anything from him, and to me, this sounds like to me, I feel sorry for him. To me personally, really on some real. I hope he gets some help because he needs to get his act together inside of us. He needs to get his act together on the court and off the court. But right now,
he needs a warm bottle and his diaper change. That's what it sounds like. It sounds
he can kiss my ass
like a big ass spoiled baby.
There he is. He can kiss my ass, legit.
Let me tell you what's troubling to me with this whole Ben Simmons thing. You would think that he doesn't have a positive male. He's 25, I believe. You would think that he doesn't have a positive male role model in his life.
No, hold on.
His father doesn't advise him, right?
Go ahead.
So now, Rebecca, you rewind back to college. He played 1 year at college. It was a lackluster year for the team. They didn't make the NCAA tournament. We all should have seen this coming because it was like, what do you think about not making the NCAA tournament? I'm paraphrasing here. He pretty much, if I'm paraphrasing, and correct me if I'm wrong, pretty much like, well, I'm going to the league anyway. He didn't say it like that.
Yeah, but his demeanor, his demeanor was saying it, and you would thought. Go ahead.
So, just to give it some context, Embiid and Simmons could be a Shaq and Kobe, Jordan and Pippen type deal. But this guy, he's acting like a bitch ass.
He's acting light skinned.
Like that's what I call it. I don't know other way to call it, because right now. I want you to remember, nobody was telling him we're gonna cut your pay. Nobody was bothering him, but this he and I forgot to mention this, Rebecca. He is a great basketball player, but he has failed to develop a jump shot. He can do just about everything well, but he doesn't shoot the ball very well.
I gotta cut you off. If he develops a jump shot, Sex, I think that's what people don't realize. If he develops a jump shot and works on his free throws, he's a top 5 NBA player.
Yeah, he's like
top 5, not offense, defense. No, top 5 NBA player, because he can go all 5
very
positions.
Good defensively.
Very great.
But
to me, right? To me,
and he's a big ass baby.
Yeah, and hold up, and I'm gonna leave you
like
with
his mother rocks him to sleep at night. That's the fuck he sound like.
Yeah, and the thing I don't like about the situation like this, because you have
that's how he sound. Like he need his mama to lay him down and tell him a bedtime story every night. He sound like a big kid.
Yeah. I'm just upset with that.
I'm pretty sure there's going to be more. We'll probably be talking about this again on Monday on Sean and Mark Presents the Vibe. This is an ongoing type deal. He got suspended, Becca, by the way, for conduct detrimental to the team when he got sent home. So he's not playing in Philadelphia's season opener on tonight.
He got sent home back to his mommy because he was being a bad boy.
Hold up. But you know what Doc Rivers said, that he said, like, would Ben be welcome back to practice? He was like, yeah. See, this is what, like, the one thing I'm pissed about is everybody has been in this corner. Ownership. And the thing is, I don't understand, too, is he hasn't talked really. He's only talked to a couple of players, but you can tell the players are, like, really getting tired of his act. They're like, dude, come on.
Grow up.
Come on. Yeah.
All right. What I am going to do, more to follow on Ben Simmons. We'll keep you posted. Of course, we're going to
tuck him in bed. We're going to tuck him in bed. Yeah.
We're going to continue to report on this. So, what I would like to go to next is kind of somber. We lost an American patriot about 2 days ago. The passing of former General Colin Powell, first Black Secretary of State, Colin Powell, due to COVID complications. To give it context, to just to let everybody know, he did have cancer, and he had cancer that weakened his immune system. He was fully vaccinated, but it succumbed. The cancer, he succumbed to COVID complications. Because of the weakened immune system. He was known for being one of the generals involved with Operation Desert Storm. He was Secretary of State when the United States invaded Iraq. An icon. This is one of those things where he's a military turned politician. This is one of those things where they kind of lay aside differences as far as Republican. These are times that they usually just lay all that aside and they honor the individual. But we all know that there's one asshole out there that historically has not done this. And that is the former president, the one that just fucking lost. 45.
Yep.
Donald
45.
Trump. I'm going to read off what he said and we're going to talk about it. He's banned from Twitter, so he's reduced to making press releases because any president could just do press releases. So his words were, and I quote, "Wonderful to see Colin Powell, who made big mistakes on Iraq and famously so-called weapons of mass destruction, be treated in death so beautifully by the fake news media. Hope that happens to me someday. He's a classic rhino. For context, rhino is what Republicans call people who are just Republican by name, and they really classify them as Democrats. Always being the first to attack other Republicans. He made plenty of mistakes, but anyway, may he rest in peace."
But anyway,
that's what he said. I'm reading from the press release. Let me explain something.
That's so rude.
Let me explain something to y'all right now. And I'm not going to mince any words here.
Let them know.
Donald Trump
need his ass beat on site.
Can say anything. I'm not even going to say just about anything at this point. Donald Trump can go out on the news and say that I think that all black people should be slaves again. They're N-words, this, that, and the third, and I can still guarantee you,
and he can get away with it.
Who's the people that still support him? That's where we're at with Donald Trump right now. He did the same thing with John McCain when he passed away, who was a war hero POW. He was Obama's opponent in 2008. He pretty much did the exact same thing. I don't wish death on nobody. I'm not even gonna do that with Donald Trump. But I mean, I really can't. I really can't. I mean, it's just there's no bounds. There's no limit to what this guy was doing. You're taking away from this guy. You're not taking away from him because I mean, he will never be a third of the damn man Colin Powell was. And another thing I'd like to address, I can't fathom how people took Colin Powell's death to help their vaccine argument.
Yeah, I don't understand that. You can't use that.
That kind of pisses me off. I don't want to get into vaccines or whatever because we're thinking about doing a pod later about that, having a debate about vaccines. But whatever happened to people having class? I mean, not just Trump. He ain't gonna have no class at all. But whatever happened to people having class, like I seen people on Facebook saying, "Oh yeah, Colin Powell." They didn't say this great general, patriot to the nation, passed. Yeah, he died and he was fully vaccinated. What y'all think about that? Like, really? That what we doing now?
This world is just crazy. This world is just crazy. I'm so, I'm so thankful that, and I don't know if thankful is the right word to be, but I just couldn't imagine if somebody in my family was famous to this level or just a major celebrity and having to watch them deal with this, especially in death, right? So it's like, we already know that this man's gonna pop up at it, and anytime something happens in America and say something stupid, so we already expecting that. We're not even surprised at the major disrespect.
Oh no!
But it's still like, really? Like,
that's what we doing?
You're not shocked. You're not like befuddled. Like, I can't believe Trump said that. It's more so like, really? Like, really? Like, this is what you decide to say? I'm scared as to what's gonna happen when he perished. Like when he perished, his son is going to just do the absolute most. It's just gonna be like, I think the disrespect is unreal. And if I was related to Colin Powell, even though people have said my dad would like him, I don't know. I don't think so. My dad was like my dad.
He gonna get it 10 times worse than Rush Limbaugh got it, boy. Because people, I don't know when Rush Limbaugh. I don't know if y'all was on Twitter when Rush Limbaugh. Boy, they had some ruthless motherfuckers on Twitter when he passed.
Oh, they did.
If I was related to Colin Powell right now, I'd be in the streets looking for Trump. Like it would be on site. It would be on site. Do you hear me? On site.
I don't believe in stomping on nobody's grave, but when people was going in on Rush Limbaugh, I ain't saying they should have done it, like Chris Rock said.
But I understand. I'm not saying it shouldn't have been done, but I understand.
Absolutely.
I think I'm gonna leave with this too. I think with Trump is you don't want to make him a martyr, right? I think, but I think this is old term I basically looked up too. Is what kills a skunk is the publicity it gives itself. I think the thing that's going to get him is sort of like what we talked about, like not we talked about, but like how we saw the movie John, Gotti, what have you, right? And Gotti was like the Teflon Don, right? He kept just going against the United States government and kept winning until, and he actually foreshadowed this. He actually said that he's like, you know what? I can't keep going against the United States government, what have you, right? Because they never run out of money. And the thing is with Trump, I think he has to realize too is what have you, right? Like social media is a big thing, and some stuff that you can try to hide away, I think he's gonna piss off the wrong person. And think that's not going to hurt him. It's going to be, I think it might be something very small that he thinks that he can get away with, and I think it's going to become something bigger. I think that's what's going to get him. That's what's going to get him out of here.
Like
legit.
Assassination?
No, not assassination. No. I don't think that. I think it's going to be some type of big like.
Damn, Tayson went dark on us.
Oh no. I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be something like some type of he says something about somebody or he groped something. It's going to be something that's going to be. They're going to have mad evidence on, and I don't think he. I think he's going. It's going to be something like that coming soon.
You got a whole lot more faith than me, man, because I call this dude the Teflon Don for a reason, man. Because it seems like this dude.
Same thing about Gotti.
He can say or do anything, and it seems like nothing. Nothing's happens to this cat. But without further ado, let's
get into our topic.
This is gonna be a good one.
Do we want to Hey, check this out. We're gonna dissect and talk about Dave Chappelle's newest and I guess last Netflix special. Very controversial. I think it's a masterpiece. We're gonna talk about The Closer. We have some subtopics brought to you by none other than my cousin Becca. Thank you for putting this together. We are going to we're going to deep dive into this. If you want to of course if you're in the comments, make sure you chime in. If you feel you need to come on and express your point, let us know. We'll try to get you a link or whatever. But let's get into it. Where do we want to go with this first?
Well, let me first start by saying that this will be a adult conversation. Okay, this particular, I wanted to get this disclaimer out there before people think that this is going to be another conversation where we are bashing and being disrespectful, because it will not. Okay, we have made it our business to have some range in our topics. So choosing this topic, although we know it is very controversial and it will get the people going, that we are going to have an adult conversation. So if this, and this is as plain as I can say it, if you are not adult enough to handle this conversation, it's going to be a rough 2 hours for you, because we are going to definitely dive in and make sure that we have this conversation maturely. If you are in the comments, you are more than welcome to express how you feel. There is such thing as tact and respect. So we're going to ask that you be kind, because there may be some things that are said that you may not agree with. There may be some points that you want to get across. And we will definitely have your comment across the screen. We will not quiet you, but we do ask that you be respectful, because not just the three of us are able to have this conversation. This is, again, on public platforms. So this conversation is open to the public. Everyone is able to join in on this conversation, regardless if you agree with us or not. So let's just get that out there first. But this particular special for me, out of all of his, was, I think he's a genius. I just think that he is a genius, and his twisted way of getting a point across is fantastic. You have to have an open mind when you're dealing with a comedian such as Dave Chappelle. It's not how did the chicken cross the road kind of jokes. These are not kind of jokes where you pull up to a Dave Chappelle show and you kneeling over laughing because he is so hilarious. Oh my God, my stomach hurt. This is a type of comedian where if you don't pay attention to the message, it's gonna miss you. He's one of those storytelling type of get the message out there kind of comedians. You're going to laugh, but the main thing that you'll walk away with is, wow, I didn't even think about it like that. He twisted it in such a way where you're like, you know what? That's true. I didn't even notice that. And I think that this particular closer and the responses afterwards is exactly why we need this type of person in the comedic business. We can get all of those chicken cross the road jokes from any other comedian. Y'all want to laugh your ass off? Maybe listen to Kevin Hart. For those of you that may not think he's funny, then okay. If you want to cackle and ha ha and laugh, watch a Martin episode. But if you want some intelligent type of comedy that's gonna make you think, you're gonna do a Dave Chappelle, you're gonna do a Paul Mooney, you're gonna do a Dick Gregory, you're gonna do, even back in the day, an old Eddie Murphy.
Pryor.
Richard Pryor. This is the group that he goes into, and I loved it. I had no issues with it. I'm also an ally, but I saw his points that he made, and it was just genius to me.
Well, me personally, and this is the irony of my take on it. I think that this special had a lot to do with inclusion. And the reason I say this is because I think Dave Chappelle making jokes and making fun of the LGBTQ community, I think it's a part of inclusion. I mean, we're going to discuss as far as what we think is off limits and what isn't off limits, but the way he talked about feminism, and the way he was and just the way he was talking about how he was in the process of getting canceled in his responses, and some of the things that he was saying was just legendary to me. It was I think a lot of people don't want to be president of the moment and say he's the greatest of all time, but I think that he is the most intelligent comedian I've ever seen perform on the stage. I will go there and
I agree with that.
Eddie Murphy's my favorite. I always thought Eddie Murphy was the GOAT. Only time will tell what Dave Chappelle will end up, but he's in those conversations now. He's in those conversations. He's definitely in those conversations, and time will only tell where he ends up.
Man, I think I'm gonna agree with both of y'all. I think this was an excellent special because he makes you think. He really, really makes you think. And also, it's crazy how some of the stuff that he was talking about came out to play later on, like in different situations after the special. And the one I'm gonna say the bet. Look, I'm gonna say the one drawback I had with this, legit, was the person he was using as an example, and that's the baby. And we're gonna get to that later. How some people can use a better example. I think he could have used a better example, considering. Well, I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get into that.
Yeah.
Okay, what direction we want to go first?
Let's start with the topics. Let's go down the line.
This one right here?
No, they're in order.
Oh, my apologies. There we go.
So is there such thing as cancel culture for comedians? Say something you think.
It is. In some instances, you see it because, like I said, with Louis C.K., I forgot the guy's name. He did the Sean special. He forgot the comedian's name. Circle of None, I think that's what it is. He had this special on Netflix, and he also started in Parks and Recreation. I forgot the guy's name. He sort of was canceled, and it's like been a lot of different other comedians been canceled because of stuff they've done in the past and stuff they've said. I mean, it's going on right now. In some instances, you're like, no, you shouldn't. It's a tightrope. It's a tightrope. Because in some instances, I'm like, no, they shouldn't be canceled off of that. They're just free speech. And then in some instances, you're like, you went completely like whatever with that. The comedian, what's the Seinfeld guy? What's the guy who played Seinfeld's next door neighbor, and he had basically went on that little rap about African Americans, how he was just, he called it, calling them niggas, what have you, and he got canceled because of that. Wow. Like in that instance, yes, that look, come on, like you need
Kramer.
Look, come on, yeah, Kramer, yeah.
Okay.
And he had just went off the complete deep end with that, and it was like, no, he needs to be like, no, like, dog, you can't be saying that. You can't be saying that in your joke. Not you. You can't be saying that. Mm-mm.
Right, not a white guy.
Not a white guy telling a black dude that. No, that's no.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You can't say that.
Well, and the genius of Dave Chappelle is bringing this up as far as, you know, comedians, they get paid to make you laugh, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
There shouldn't be any except Dave Chappelle. I think that he is being, and not only as a comedian, he's being an advocate for his peers who I call him the Teflon Don of comedians, because I don't think I don't think he's not what Dave Chappelle's done some wild shit since he's been doing comedy, but it seemed like he's never been canceled or whatever. We'll get into that more later in specifics as far as Dave Chappelle. But Dave Chappelle talks about stuff like that during his specials, and I look, there is a such thing as a cancel culture from comedians, unfortunately, but I think Dave Chappelle is trying to save that with the work that he is doing now.
Oh, he is.
Because it's kind of like what they call Earthquake always calls comedians independent contractors. When you're an independent contractor, you usually got the autonomy to do whatever the hell it is you want as far as your job. And right now, we're asking comedians to say, "Hey, make me laugh, ha 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 ha." Oh, hold on, that was that right there, that was a little bit too far. Is that even fair for that profession right there? Is that even? Is that even
well?
Fair?
I mean that. Our next point will answer that question, because that is something that people have said in regards to cancel culture. Like some people feel like comedians are maybe the only ones that will get a pass for saying certain things for the sake of a laugh, right? Some people feel comedians don't have a filter. They should not have a list of things that they can't say, because I know a lot of comedians. I've been in this business. I've done improv comedy where I live for years, and a lot of comedians say that their job is to make light and find a joke in anything, in life in general. So they are the ones that will say, I'm gonna make a joke about whomever, whenever, however. We make a joke about black people. We make a joke about white people. We make a joke about short people, tall people, children can get it. We're gonna make a joke about whomever, and nothing is fair when it comes to that. Comedians say that the way that most of us, especially for those of us in the culture, we have gotten ourselves through hard times by laughing.
Yeah.
So their job is to make us laugh at even some of the stuff that hurts, some of the stuff that may not even be funny, but to find a joke in it, because that's how we get through our stuff. Comedy, music, those are the ways that we get through the life of living as a black person, right? Or even some of the white comedians that make jokes about even other white people, even of our own culture. That's the way that we get through it. So some people feel comedians could say whatever and just laugh or don't laugh, right? But then you have other people that saying, yeah, but there's certain things that's just not funny no matter what. There's just some things that you just can't laugh at. Like getting served papers at your grandmother's funeral may not be funny to nobody. To us, it's like, damn, son, you got caught out there.
Like, whoa, man.
Oh, shit, you got caught out there. But to some people, it's like, yo, my grandmother's funeral, what's wrong with you? That's not funny. Like, so you have people that just, I think it's subjective. I think some people are going to find funny, and some people are not going to find it funny. But I do think that overall, we have to understand that it's not just us in this world. It's billions of us in this world. So there are going to be people that do find it funny. And if you if you make a personal choice to no longer listen to this artist, watch this comedian, wear these clothes, play this kind of music, if you make that personal choice, that's fine. But not everybody else has to make that same choice. If I find it funny, I find it funny and I'll laugh. If you don't, then you don't.
Well, here's my issue with the attempt and I don't want to get ahead. Let me see what our topics are. Here's my issue with the LGBT community in particular, trying to cancel Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle, and he alludes to this stuff during the special.
Oh man,
Dave Chappelle has made jokes about our people. He's made tons of money making jokes off of black people, white people,
Asians.
He does racy. Say again.
Asians.
Yes, Asians.
His wife is Asian.
Everybody. He did this guy for God's sake. He did the racial draft. He did. I know black people.
Yo,
he was a black supremacist.
Right. Yep. Black supremacist. All that shit. He has. I think Dave Chappelle in his comedy has talked and joked and done sketch comedies about every single solitary group.
That's crazy. The black supremacist said he divorced his wife because she was a nigger lover.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yo.
So my issue is that.
But when you think about it, you're like, oh wait, that is true.
Right. That black white supremacist was legendary. That was a legendary sketch, well received by people of all.
Hell yeah.
So my thing is, I would ask the LGBT community, if you want to be included, I don't think you can have it both ways. Too. You can't want inclusion and be an exception to the rule, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes,
because I mean, I think in the genius that Dave Chappelle is. It was his comedy special was about inclusion, and I think he was paying homage to the LGBT community, saying, "You guys have managed to make so much fucking progress compared to black people in a short period of time." Like these are things that he said.
Hold on.
I have that written down here. I'm sorry, I have that written down here. I have that exact joke written down because I wanted to mention it. He said, "Look at how well that movement is. We've been trapped for 400 years. If slaves had baby oil and booty shorts, the slave movement would have ended 100 years earlier." That's his exact joke. I wrote that down.
That's fucking hilarious. I'm sorry. Yeah. That's funny to me.
That's hilarious.
But what people miss with that, cousin, is that this is just Rebecca's opinion. The irony in that is he's saying he respects the fact that y'all can come together and make a stance on something, and a change is made so quickly. But black people have been fighting the same fight for hundreds of years. And Dave Chappelle said something 2 weeks ago, and now the Netflix employees have walked out of the building. It only took them 2 weeks for an uproar to happen for the Netflix employees that did not agree with this particular special being aired to say, you know what? Forget this job. I'm going to peacefully protest and walk out of the building. So the joke is, y'all are actually getting shit done before us. That's freaking crazy.
Yeah, hold on.
People
and also too,
got offended.
Yeah, and also too, what's the genius of Dave Chappelle? Think of the title, right? The title of the special, The Closer, right? It's his last quote unquote special on Netflix, what have you, right? But also think about that closing quote unquote joke, basically that closing last 5-10 minutes of the special that people don't really talk about.
We will get to
that. To me is genius. That is genius right there. And that basically sums up everything. I think that was like genius.
And one of the biggest issues is that I don't think and this is not limited to the LGBTQ community. A lot of people span anything searching for outrage.
Yep.
Right? Because Dave Chappelle, he didn't do an entire stand-up about LGBT. He said something about Jews. He always said something about blacks, white people, whatever. But it's almost like some people will sit down and be like, okay, that's a black joke, that's fine. That's a white joke, that's fine. Oh, Asians, got it. Okay, now we got them. Okay, that's a joke about the LGBT community. Okay, I don't like that. That is foul. I think he should be counseled for that. I just don't think it's right.
But everybody has that stance, though. I'm sorry, Tyson, go ahead.
No, sorry about that. And you know what proved this point, though? the John Gruden situation. I don't know if you know about that, Becca, or not, but the John Gruden situation proved that perfectly. Basically happened, what, 3 weeks ago, Stacks now? 3 weeks or 2 weeks ago? Whatever happened. The situation happened.
This happened, it all happened 2 weeks ago, okay?
All right.
So we're going into a Monday night game. These emails, the Washington's trash-ass football team is getting investigated. So they go through your servers, go through your emails. So the coach, Rebecca, real quick, the coach of the Los Angeles Raiders, Mark Gruden, John Gruden, they found 7 years worth of emails, racial slurs. No, let me give it context. When it first came out, he called
Friday. Remember Friday.
NFL Player Association President DeMar Smith, he called him something. It was a racial trope, like big lips. They found that in the email, right? So he came out and apologized.
Sunday.
And it seemed like he was good to go. But
Monday
email where he called the commissioner the F word. Sure. Hey, during Monday, this happened. That came out on Sunday, right?
Yeah. Hold on. No. The email came out Monday during the Monday night game.
Oh, 2 days ago.
It came. No. The email came out.
This all happened like 2 weeks ago. What we're talking about.
But the email came out on Monday. I think early in the day. Monday Night Football. They were announcing.
No. Hold up. No stats. No. It came out during the game. I remember that vividly. That the first email about DeMarcus Smith that came out Friday night.
Email came out during the game.
Yeah. That second stuff of email that came out right during the game. That came out legit like first or second quarter. Because I was watching it with my son. I was looking like, oh, this ain't good. I said, this ain't good. When he called like the commissioner and the thing with everything else about like more than like 10 years worth of emails, it was like, oh, that's not good.
So what happened, Rebecca? He called the black guy. Oh, Rebecca.
Becca didn't. Hold up.
We're gonna wait.
But technical difficulties, but Becca will be back.
But for the viewers, what happened was, and Becca is back.
Yes, she is. Here we are.
You good?
Yes, I'm good. Go ahead.
What happened is he called the black guy Big Lips on Friday. Saturday, nothing. Sunday, really nothing. The email came out about the calling the commissioner the F word. He got, they put something across screen during Monday Night Football saying that he resigned. Pretty much forced out. Now, Twitter exploded. Facebook exploded. I came to the same conclusion. Oh, the racial trope that he did on Friday. I thought to his own brother, I thought he was gonna survive that. And he used that F word.
That's it.
That was it. That was it. I knew that was it.
Hey,
I knew that was it.
Hey, Rebecca, during halftime, they was like, yeah, this dude gotta go.
Get him out of here.
Now my thing is it was the right call. He probably should have got fired anyway, but I don't think it should have had to wait until it was a homophobic slur word. So
and that's wild.
It is consequences for his actions, but it would have been more. It had like 7 years worth of emails he was sending because he's just a bigot. It came out that he was official because he didn't agree with women being referees in football. He had an issue, of course, with Kaepernick and said that anybody that kneeled should be fired and all that stuff. So your typical Neanderthal is just
I was about to say that he sounds like he's still in the Stone Age.
Man of the fucking world, and all that shit. But
I mean, again, that's another situation where he mentioned the baby, not in a particular way to defend his action. I think that sometimes people need to just not be so. This is gonna. I'm just gonna say it, and I hope that people understand what I mean. Not to run to be offended, but to listen, because sometimes a person just may not be able to word it in a way where it lands good for you. But a point is still being made. He's basically saying that even though there was no context in this, he's basically saying the baby did kill someone. It wasn't self-defense. It was because the man. It was because the man was he was abnormal with his daughter, and the man approached him in self-defense. He shot him, and he died. That is a fact. So the baby did kill someone.
He didn't get canceled for it.
That did not end his career. His career wasn't even threatened to be ended, and he actually killed someone. Self-defense. I understand. I understand self-defense, but he did ultimately kill someone. He did not. His career was not actually threatened or even questioned.
No.
Until he said something derogatory towards the LGBT community. And then also continued when he went on Instagram Live and continued it. So yes, we again context and nuance. We do.
Oh yeah, the baby was fucked up for what he said. Now, make no mistake about it. We're not excusing that.
Hold on.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Hold up.
So his. Let me just get this one point out.
Right,
what he was saying was not right. The way that he said it was definitely meant to jab. He definitely said it in a way where whoever heard it, he was trying to get on you. Absolutely correct. But the point that Dave Chappelle was making is, and we do know that the baby does come from a community where he might not even know that was one, because him and his homeboys probably joke to each other like that on a normal day and don't care about it. So we know that as well. However, the point that Dave Chappelle was making that people missed is not even murder is going to get your career threatened.
Yeah.
But just making a joke or a comment about a community can.
You're done.
That's the truth.
Point that
right.
He was that's the point that he was making. That people missed because it was like such a hot topic, and people still feel their own separate way about the baby. Where it was just like that might not have been the right example to use.
Yeah, the
point was made.
No, I was going to agree with you. That's why I said I think the example wasn't right, but I understood. Like, to me, I understood what he was saying, because he's right. Like the baby holder, just like you said, self-defense. He can kill somebody. He's not getting canceled. But the minute he says something about a certain group, it's no, you can't say that. No, you got to be out of here. It's like, no, you can't be like with that. Like, no, and we're like, and just like, Stack said too, is like the baby. Look, that's. I think I'm gonna probably go on topic, but the baby, that situation right there. I think it's a lot of people here that we talked about. Always talk about caping for people and also criticizing people. That kid needs some serious help. That kid really needs some serious help. The baby, he really needs, because after the fact, even after people were really in his corner, he still was
doubling down.
Yes, and I'm like, dog, you can't be doing that. Even made videos. I'm like, dog, no.
And I'm here in Charlotte. So tell me, so trust me, they act like the baby is Jay-Z to us Brooklynites, right?
Ooh,
like
how
those of us in New York, especially those of us in Brooklyn, how we be like, yo, Jay-Z.
Mm-hmm. The baby's probably all right, I got you.
That the baby,
all right, I got you. All right, I got
Jay-Z.
you.
So
all right, I got you. But
it's just like, come on, guys.
Yeah, but I understood what he was talking about. I was like, you're right. Like Dave Chappelle just like a genius, and like I said, some of what he was saying in that special just can't, like, you really think about it. It's like, just like you said, he doesn't. It's not one of, like, his jokes is not going to sit there and have you like busting out laughing. It's going to have you thinking. It's a thinking person's joke, and it's going to be some jokes that's not jokes, but sort of jokes, but it's going to be stuff that's going to make you think about, like, stuff that you're going to think about later on. And it's gonna come out, and then you're gonna be laughing sometimes about like certain like little different jokes, what have you. That's how like the genius of Dave Chappelle, like the comedic genius of him.
So in regards, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Your comment says it all, man. That's why I left it up there, man. That's a really, really, absolutely.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
For those of us listening, her comment is Dave is saying the community has power. Black people still have a long way to go. That's the point.
Very long way.
That's the point that he was making. But when someone is offended already, and they have a preconceived notion. Everybody knows that when Dave Chappelle gets a microphone, he's guaranteed to say something offensive.
Oh, absolutely.
So he could just go up there and say the alphabet. The way that he said it's going to offend somebody, because they're already looking for him to be offensive. So it doesn't matter what he says, it's going to be offensive. But that was the point that he was proving. And when it comes to the jokes, just to bring up the next topic, cousin, if you want to bring it on the screen, or I can, in regards to the jokes, equality or privilege. This is something I had mentioned because what happens is I was listening to a podcast of gentlemen, straight men. And what I noticed is that sometimes it's very difficult for straight men to have this conversation with maturity. Sometimes it does come across as, very offensive. But these particular three gentlemen were talking, and one of them made a very good point. What most people are wanting is equality. So on a general platform, equality means everyone gets the same rights. Everyone gets to be able to do everything, say everything, wear
same
everything,
chance,
be everything.
Same opportunities.
Everybody's on the same level, right?
Level playing field, yeah.
But then when you start to really think about it, people don't really want equality, because if everybody was on the same level, then these black people gonna get these jokes just like these gay people gonna get these jokes. These kids gonna get these jokes. These women gonna get these jokes. These trans gonna get these jokes. I'm gonna joke about your dog. I'm gonna joke about your cat. Your big toe is gonna be my punchline. Everybody's getting these jokes. So if you want equality, if you laugh at the black supremacist jokes, laugh at the gay jokes too. If you want equality, if I'm gonna tell this Asian about themselves, I'm gonna tell this white person about themselves. That's truly equality. However, when we say jokes about a particular community and nothing is done, nothing is said, everyone just laughs. But when we make a joke about your community, you get offended. You don't want equality, you want privilege. You want the ability for us to joke about everything else but you. You want separation. You don't want equality. You want separation. Because if I'm going to laugh at your mama, I'm going to laugh at your daddy too, whether he's dead or alive. If I'm going to laugh at your kid, I'm going to laugh at your baby mama. If your auntie is a slut, your uncle is gay. Everybody line up and get these jokes, right? That's equality. But if you don't want to be joked about, you don't want equality. You want privilege. You want to be able to not get joked about while you laugh at everybody else's jokes. Now, do we have a right? Do we as black people have a right to tell gay people don't laugh at no black jokes?
No, not at all.
No, not at all.
We don't, because there's some jokes that are about black people that are funny as hell. So then if the equality is supposed to be there, if there's supposed to be equality, can we laugh at y'all jokes and y'all not say nothing? Like y'all expect us not to say nothing?
I like that equality versus privilege.
I like that.
That's a good. Well, equality or privilege. I like to think of it more so. I think that community should embrace Dave Chappelle, and simply because I hate to beat a dead horse, because I think that he's championing the LGBTQ community.
He is
through inclusion.
Yep.
And like you said, Rebecca, I think he's literally saying, "Oh, y'all can get these jokes too. I'm not leaving y'all out because, like you said, y'all are having a human experience."
Yep.
I want to include y'all in these jokes I'm doing.
Yep.
That's the way I see it. That's how I interpret it. And
I agree.
I think that's cool as fuck. And I think that in a rush to look for the offense, that people in that community should start like, damn, he's including us. I mean, he's not Dave Chappelle don't hate anybody from that community, if anything.
No.
I just think that he's trying to drive a point home as far as inclusion goes.
And I just want to be clear. One quick point. I just want to be clear. Please understand what we mean. And we're not saying that, we're not telling you what you should or should not be offended by. We're definitely not saying that. But what we're trying to explain is exactly what equality and privilege means.
Yep.
Exactly what it means to those to many people who may say, if you do want to be considered how we are considered, then please consider what that means, right?
Ooh.
So if you want certain things that we are able to do, you want to do them also. There's certain things that come with that. And sometimes a comedian joking about you is one of the things that comes with that.
Yep.
People joke about single motherhood all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I was a single mom. Am I to get offended every time I hear a joke about a single mother? I'm also a daddy's girl. Am I going to be upset every time I hear men talk about women with daddy issues? I'm also a mother of one child, and I don't care or desire to have any more children. Am I supposed to be? Am I not supposed to feel this type of way, or should I feel a certain way if somebody says you only want one kid because you can't be a good mother? Those are jokes that people say. Am I supposed to be offended by that, or can I just say if it don't fit, must have quit the joke, right? He ain't talking about me. I think that takes a level of maturity and experience to be able to eat the meat and throw away the bones.
Yeah. I think I'm totally agreeing with you. That it was like, because Dave basically was also saying too, like he wants everybody to laugh together, like,
right.
And it's basically just like, we're basically at a point now in our our history right now that we're trying to like we can only laugh at certain things. It's like you're basically telling people like, no, y'all can laugh at this, but y'all can't laugh at that. You
laugh
can laugh
at
at
everybody
this,
but me.
Yeah, laugh at anybody. Yep, exactly. And it's just you can't be like that. Like, just like you said, look, if you don't want to watch this special, if you don't watch, look, find someone else to laugh at. Go to another comedian. Go to somewhere else. All right, cool. That's you. That's free will. Like,
I want to bring up Sam's comment. Because I want to bring up
too.
Because I like that comment. Comedy should be a reflection, commentary of society. What exactly about these offensive jokes are we laughing at? And what does that say about the society we live in? Is it funny because it's true, or is it funny because it's dehumanizing? Want to address that, anybody?
Probably both.
Yeah. I was gonna say it's both. Yeah.
We live in a. Merv always tell me I have very little faith in humanity. I mean, I'm gonna be totally honest. I really do in a lot of cases. But at the same time, as far as even dehumanizing, humor is humor to me, man. I don't. It's kind of hard to dissect when somebody's laughing. You don't want to go in their mind and like, damn, I wonder why they thought that shit was funny.
It's funny
because everybody have different perspectives, and while we might all three, me, you, Tazon, you, Tazon, you, Becca, we might hear the same joke, and we might be laughing our motherfucking asses off, but we might be laughing for different reasons.
Yep.
I mean, let's keep it 100, and that's
ain't nothing wrong with it. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
And what that says about the society that we live in, I guess, is that, like I said, it's a cold world out there. But I mean, people have differences in what they think. If everybody is laughing at the same joke, there could be a case where people have differences as far as what they think was funny as far as part of the joke, whether it's true or whether it's dehumanizing. I think in most cases it's because it's true, more than being dehumanizing, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't think dehumanizing is funny. But I do think funny is funny, if that makes sense. So when you, but again, if the joke is not on you, it's more easier to laugh. Or if the joke is something you've been through and you had those same feelings while you were going through that experience that's being joked about, you could find it funny because you're like, yo, I thought that same thing. That's so crazy. Right? Like the joke about two crackheads never breaking up. Right? You know, two crackheads that have smoked and snorted everything that they could and they are still together. And you got good people out here single. That shit is funny. Like, yo, this crackhead had a man for 30 years. I can't even get a man. Like, what's going on?
Yo,
you know what, Becca?
That real quick, funny.
Real quick, is that funny though? Is somebody strung out on like crackhead jokes have been? Every comedian has crackhead jokes. And all no doubt. Be really, really funny. But is it funny? Is if somebody close to you is a crackhead. We all probably got at least one or two crackheads in the family. I mean, that's just, it is what it is. But you got some people that personalize shit so much, like, you know what, that shit ain't funny. My mom's was a crackhead. I'm sorry, but that shit was funny. I'm sorry. I mean, to me, I'm sorry. Like for instance, like the biggest running joke as far as people that join the military is that they're fucking retarded and they just don't have the inability. They're dumb. They never would have survived in college and none of that shit. I simply can't be offended by that because on the surface, that shit sounds fucking funny as far as when they say people from the military eat crayons and, you know, robotic and shit. Like, that shit is fucking hilarious to me. You know what I'm saying? But I can't be offended by it for two reasons. My skin is a little thicker than that, and I don't know if this is a right reason not to be offended by it. But my other reasoning would be is because that doesn't apply to me. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yes. Yes. And I think that's probably both of those reasons could be why people laugh. It don't apply to me, or it does apply to me, and that shit is funny. But
now that I think about it, though, if it did apply to me, what I still think it's funny. So I see both sides because the LGBT community, of course, those jokes apply to them. So when he makes a joke about white people, about black people, about Asians, it's funny then, ha 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 ha. But the LGBT thing, damn, that one kind of hit home. So that one is that right to personalize it like that though? Is that right?
But look at Trey's comment though.
Look at Trey's comment. That's hilarious.
I'm so sick of people. And that is what we mean. So for those listening, the comment is, guys joining the military is the male version of screw it, I'll be a stripper.
And you know what? That shit is fucking hilarious.
Yo, that's hilarious.
Because I'm sure there's some guys that was like, fuck it, I'll just go in the military.
Yeah. Like,
and the thing is, I was a recruiter when I was in the military as well. And society look at a lot of society looks at military as a last resort. You can't go to college. You barely made it out of high school, so I guess you had to go in the military. I know the truth about that shit. You know what I'm saying? For some people, that is a last resort based on their situation or whatever. But it just like that joke, that shit was fucking hilarious. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that joke, I like that joke.
Even though it's so-called punching down on my people, you know, military.
Right. And that's part of what we mean as far as equality. Like everybody could get the jokes, but if you don't
like everybody can get that. Yeah.
Right, but if you don't want to be joked on, then you don't want inclusion. You don't want to be on the same level as the rest of us that get joked on. And that's that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I was gonna agree. It was like, you don't want us to joke on you, but if we're joking on everybody else, that's cool. You'll laugh at that. But we can't. But we go to your group. No, you can't say that. Nope. No. You shouldn't be saying. I'm like, no, because everybody else, y'all can sit there and laugh at other groups, other races, jokes, or what have you, right? And y'all cool with that. But when it comes to your group, no, I don't want. Nope. I'm like, no. Then you're moving the goalposts, as everybody like to say. You're moving the goalposts.
Yes.
Like,
and I really wish we could have somebody from that community on the show that we
Me too.
show
Me
us
too. I wish Sam.
yeah.
Sam one of these days. Sam gonna stop playing and get in his camera.
because I want to.
That's what
Yes.
Sam gonna do.
Yes.
Sam gonna stop playing. I'm putting you on the spot, Sam.
Sam's Jewels. Yes.
I would like a counter view so I can get a view. So we can get a view as far as if someone out there from the community does think it was offensive, I really would want them to come on and explain to me.
If anyone knows the thing, we would love to have them on this podcast. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I like, but Sam's comment says if we're constantly dehumanizing, that carries over into what's acceptable in regular society. If we laugh at holistic jokes, it couldn't have been that serious. Holocaust. Sorry, Holocaust. It couldn't have been that serious. Is the thought process society goes through, but it's true. It's the but it's true. So I like that. I like that example because it's not funny, right? To be in a chamber and deal with what they went through. It's also not funny to be hung from a tree either.
No,
it really isn't. Yep.
That's not
It's definitely not funny to get your belly cut open while your baby is in it so that your master can rape you. That's also not funny.
No.
But people make jokes about both of those as well.
Let me ask you this though.
That's the equality.
Let me ask you this though. I wonder if the LGBT community feels as though that black people are playing whataboutism as far as this whole thing goes with the special. Because we kind of are. I mean, what we are saying, why are y'all offended by him making those jokes about you guys' community when he's been making jokes about every other group for years?
And y'all haven't said that.
Years upon years. So is it wrong for us to ask those questions? Because I'm pretty sure there are white people out there that ask black people the same questions when there's a joke that's made like, why are you offended by that? I mean, I don't understand or whatever. So I mean, are black people doing to the LGBT community what white people do to the black community when it comes to things like this? Is that a fair?
Some will say yes. Some will say yes. Some will say yes. And the distinction that has been made is oppression. They give it the title of oppression. So that's what the punching down term means.
I disagree with the oppression thing, and that's what that sticking point.
Hold on. I'm gonna cut you off, Stats. Hold on, Stats. I'm gonna cut you off. Or is it the group is trying to play victim?
They can't play victim because some
no.
are victims.
That's what I'm saying. Are they trying to play like look, we're victims of this, like and it's like come on, like.
People can make that distinction. People have often made that distinction in regards to what white.
I'm saying that's what they're probably thinking. I'm like, come on now, like, nah.
Here's my. Before I forget about this, I don't think they're playing victim, but I would think that they think that these jokes are offensive because I feel as though that community think that they haven't been widely accepted over most of society. Therefore, the jokes that are made aren't like for comedy. It's to punch down on them. That's how I feel about it. Like and ironically, I think Dave is helping with the inclusion. Hey, they're here. They are part of the human race.
Absolutely.
Experience.
Absolutely.
We should treat them just like we treat everybody else. Just like they need to get these jokes. They need to get everything that's they need to get everything that everybody's being able to, like as far as I remember somebody made a joke about same-sex marriage. It was like, yeah, I'm all for that. I feel like everybody should be as miserable as there shouldn't be no discrimination between people being miserable as far as same-sex marriages and shit like that.
But that can go for everything. Like for me, I don't smoke, but I've been at jobs where people who do smoke get 1 or 2 extra breaks than the rest of us
that's
because
a big thing.
They're going out and smoking. So they're going on a smoke break is very different than their 15-minute break, right? Or a woman saying, I need more sick days because I get a cycle, and some women's cycles really take them out for a couple days. So I should be able to get more days off because more than a man will because of my situation. Some people should feel like I don't work, so I should be able to be on welfare and get whatever services I need because I don't currently have a job. But those of us that work, that get all of our taxes taken out of our check, can't get those same services. So I work, but I can get the service that you get for free because of me. The taxes that come out of my money is the reason why your refrigerator is full. But me, I can't even afford to go $300, $400 food shopping because my taxes went to you. So everybody has those same things. Men feel like straight men feel like they don't get any acknowledgement. I know a lot of straight men out here that feel like they don't get love. They don't get the same pampering and catering that women cry for. Who cares about the straight black man? Everybody cares about the gays, the trans, the women, the children. Chris Rock said the only way a man is going to be there's only certain things that get unconditional love, and a straight man wasn't one of them, right? So everybody has those things that they can say, I need this privilege over you because of this.
Yeah.
So,
that's a good.
I like Sam's comment, but I mean, should the person that the joke on be able to vet? It's almost like there's a group of people backstage, like, oh, hey, I'm gonna say this joke, we're gonna vet it. Okay, you know what? That's about our people. I'll allow it. That's I mean, that's I like that comment. But I really don't. And like Tayson said, yeah, people will put themselves in the victim role or whatever. But it's hard to punch line. Like his friend Daphne, transgender, said he doesn't punches down on people; he punches lines, which was very fucking clever, in my opinion.
And we will get to Daphne.
I do think it's very unfair to decide for the masses to decide what one person is offended by.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as that sounds fucked up, I think it's unfair for people to say, "Oh, you shouldn't be offended by that." That's nah.
And that's what the LGBT community is saying. Y'all can't tell us what we can or cannot be offended by. You may think that closer special was hilarious. I don't think so. I thought it was offensive. A lot of people feel that way. A lot of people feel in that community that you straight people who are not part of this community can't tell us what to be offended by. You can't say his joke was funny. It was offensive to me.
Ooh.
So our response is then don't watch it. Why would you further traumatize yourself by intentionally sitting in a spot to be offended? So everyone has a point, and everyone's point can be proven and can be right. So that's what I think that is so beautiful about these conversations and this particular special, is because when comedians put real life situation into a form of what someone may not consider a joke, we all can take something from it, right? So like the next point we were gonna go through about particularly Dave Chappelle is, does Dave have power over Netflix? And we've discussed this kind of subliminally already. Is Dave has been able to say the craziest thing on one of the biggest platforms like Netflix and not get canceled. Even Netflix have said that they're not going to.
Hold up. Go ahead, Stacks.
I don't want to forget this point. But once again, it does seem like we are as a Black community that love this special, it does kind of seem like we're kind of telling the LGBT community what should be something that should be funny. We're kind of telling them what should be funny or what should be, the difference between funny and offensive. It's almost like that conversation when y'all be on social media when we see something that's totally fucking racist, and you're gonna have white people that's gonna come on your post and say, "I'll give it a rest. That's not racist." Y'all don't think we're doing the same thing though?
Yeah, and some, not we as far as the three of us, but we as a culture. Yes, I do see that happening often, actually, especially on social media, where you're supposed to be able, everybody says freedom of speech, but there really is no speech. There really is no freedom in your speech, because there is such thing as being canceled, being removed, being hated. You have trans people that have been killed because of their speech. You've had people that, Martin, Malcolm, their speech is what got them killed. So there really is no freedom of speech, right? But you have people who should be able to express what they're feeling, even though there's going to be opposition, because there absolutely is going to be opposition. Everyone in the world is not going to think the same way that you think.
Oh no.
And we all know that. But even though we all know that, when we run into somebody that opposes our thought, we feel some type of way. Some people feel some type of way.
I like to say that there is freedom of speech, most definitely, because and freedom is fine. You're not going to be jailed, by saying jailed or killed or anything else if you say something. Yeah. But there is absolutely no such thing as freedom of consequences, and people really need.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah,
and that's one of the things that I was trying to explain to people last summer when one of the largest human rights protests was going on all last summer with Black Lives Matter. Like, you just can't go on Facebook and say all these disparaging remarks about George Floyd, about black people and things of that nature. I mean, well, you can, because we have freedom of speech. But when your employer say, "Yeah, your services are no longer needed here," you still have your freedom of speech. You didn't die. You didn't go to jail.
Nope.
You face the consequences for those words you put out.
There we go. The consequences. Actually, yep. The freedom of consequences. Yep.
And that's what we're talking about as far as cancel culture and stuff like that. Dave Chappelle's not going to jail. Anybody that says anything, comedians, no matter what they joke on, they're not going to jail. But it could hurt their pockets because of the cancel culture.
Yeah, because overseas, when we talk about like freedom of speech overseas, like, look, some people end up missing, some people end up killed,
poisoned, all kind of
poison, all that. Like, but it's just like you said, the freedom of consequences over here is something to behold right here, because I think, like I said, we're seeing like Dave, like I said, just a very, very intelligent comedian. He basically stirred the pot up, right? To basically start a discussion like we're having right now, to basically say, just like we talked about before, in terms of, look, y'all group tight is y'all group is something us as black people wish we had. That whole,
he said he straight said, "I'm jealous of gay people." He said, "I'm jealous of gay people because y'all can come together and get shit done. And we have been fighting to do that same thing for years." He literally said it in those exact same words.
Yep.
People still was like, "Nope, I'm offended.
Went over your head.
Nope, I'm mad. You should have said it."
Yep. And like I said, that's why I say you're in this microwave culture, what have you, right? That we'll see like a 3-5 minute like blurb of a special, like, oh, just look what he said, and like, instead of basically getting like, let me watch the whole thing. Let me watch what he said entirely. Because if you watch what he said entirely, it's like, man, it's comedic genius. It's like, and I think like Dave, I think he's basically pushing the conversation forward, but also in terms of like we talked about, in terms of like group wise, in terms of the LGBT community, what have you, right? There's also another group, what have you, right, that hasn't said nothing, and of the Caucasian variety about in regards to the situation, right? Because if that group has your back, because that group legit really, quote unquote, supposed to have your back. That particular group really don't want you to have rights, period. Legit.
That particular group, even within itself, they have their own issues, because we'll get to it. But the Daphne story is very,
that was phenomenal.
Very touching. It's very touching. Yep. It's very telling.
Yeah.
It's very telling.
Oh man, is it?
And it was the perfect way to close the closer. It was the perfect way to just bring all of it, all his other specials,
full circle,
Bones, all his Sticks and Stones, I think it was called, all his other specials that he did on Netflix, which part of this deal. It brings it all together, and we'll definitely get to that. But I feel like, and I was talking to my husband about it also, I feel like Dave, the relationship between Dave and Netflix is how you want your like how your best friend's supposed to be. Like, I'm gonna have your back regardless of what you do, no matter what, no matter where, no matter how. Like Netflix actually took Dave Chappelle's show off of Netflix because Dave wasn't getting paid correctly. Because all he did was simply he didn't cause a fuss, according to people he did. He didn't make a big stink about it. He didn't go on a Monique rant and talk about it. All he did was do like an 8-minute reel on Instagram and say, hey, you guys, by the way, I know my show is going to be on Netflix soon, but I'm having some kind of issues with Comedy Central at the moment, and they're not paying me for that. So although it's on Netflix and y'all are watching it, I'm not getting paid for that. So I'm not going to tell you guys what to do, but I'm just asking that you don't watch that show until I can get my proper payment for a show that I created and that's mine. Netflix said, okay, no problem, took it down. When Dave Chappelle got his money right with Comedy Central and all of those things that happened, when he got his money right, Netflix said, hey, Dave, by the way, you and Comedy Central, y'all cool now? Y'all good? Okay, we can put your show back on? Okay, great. We'll put it back on. That is crazy.
Hold up. And I want to like, it's great. I want to piggyback off of that. Two things about that. First, Dave is smart too. He's a smart businessman too, what have you, right? This is his last special with quote unquote with Netflix, what have you, right? I think he's going to like take a step back for like 2 years, right? I think 2 years and see what the demand is going to be. Because whatever he got paid for Netflix this time, it's going to be double that, right?
He got
double that. I think
$24 million for the closer, if I'm not mistaken, just for that show.
Look, it's going to be double that.
His Netflix deal was in the tens of millions. I know for sure. I know for
so
sure.
He's gonna get. Yeah, and the thing is, he also said, like, I'm glad you said about the money thing in terms with Comedy Central. Remember, he walked away from $50 million.
Yep.
I think
he said that.
Exactly.
Too.
Remember that. Yeah, remember that.
I'm so scared to cancel me, but y'all won't walk away from $50 million like I did.
You mean like I did? I remember somebody. Yep, I remember somebody had said this was like, we talk about like what we would do in certain situations, what have you, right? But the thing is, like, we don't know what we would do in that situation. Like $50 million, like some people say, oh, I would do the same thing Dave would do, what have you, right? But really, would you do it?
Many people will do that. Ain't that many people.
They won't even speak up to their boss if their boss tell them go on lunch this time and they don't want to.
The thing is,
they'll go to lunch and shut up. They won't even tell their boss no. So they definitely ain't walking away from $50 million.
The thing is, as much as I lie on my, I rest on my morals and integrity and all that stuff. It'd be hard for me to walk with fucking $50 million. I'm sorry.
$50, cousin. $50. You got $50. What you need me to do for $50? As long as it's not immoral. What you like? $50 million? Not only walk away from $50 million, but straight disappear for years. People was like, "Where's Dave?" Dave was like, "I'ma go over here," and straight fell off the face of the earth.
I was mad as shit too, man. I was like, damn, what the fuck?
Where's Dave?
How you just leave us like this?
Yep. And now we know. Like
now we know because he refused to do what they were telling him to do. So that is a big, at the height of his career, that is a major boss move to say, I'm done. And the $50 million that y'all planned on giving me, y'all could keep that.
Shit.
I'm out. And he disappeared for how long was it? 10 years? He was gone for a really long time. And then now he's coming back. And it's like, Dave, we missed you. And he's like, yeah, I've been gone for a minute. Now I'm back with the jump off. And here goes over these specials. And he's like, by the way, while I was away, I had a couple things I was thinking. Here's the things I was thinking. And now this is my last thought. God bless and good night. Like,
and
Netflix is like in the back. Dave Chappelle, Dave Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle.
Like Netflix got Dave Chappelle back, like,
But
like nobody's business.
To the point of this subtopic, I think that it goes beyond Netflix. I don't think Dave Chappelle. I don't think he is cancelable, if that's a word. If it's not,
I don't think it is. I don't think it is.
You just made it up. It's a word.
If it's not a word, shout out to Merv. Let's use that as a Merv word.
Cancelable.
I don't. I mean, because they're working over. I mean, I'm trying to tell you, they're working overtime to try to take this special off the air. In the
it's
CEO
a word.
Yeah,
it's a word.
It is okay.
Cancel. It something.
It definitely
says something that can't be rescinded or undone.
Right. So I mean, it's like they're working overtime to get this special off, and Netflix is standing by Dave Chappelle. I think that is because of the respect he demands overall in the culture as far as society. I don't think it is just limited to Netflix, because I mean that's the cash cow as well.
Oh hell yeah!
Stand by the cash cow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I always said, when I saw Sticks and Stones, I said Dave Chappelle is the only modern day comedian that can get away with saying some of the things he said during Sticks and Stones.
Oh yeah,
and I wholeheartedly believe that.
I would Bill Burr and Dave, yes.
That motherfucker's funny.
Bill Burr's another one.
Yo, he is hilarious, yo.
I would challenge the Kevin Hart part though, because Kevin Hart.
Oh, Kevin Hart, like he not there yet.
Kevin Hart at some point, even though he does have a stance, I do see him buckling more than I would see a Dave or a Bill buckle.
He apologized. He already, when they took the Oscars. I mean, what was the Emmys or the Oscars?
I think it was the Oscars.
Oscars, yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
He made some. They went back and, like they always do, they'll go back on Twitter, or they go back like 10, 15 fucking years and find out some shit you say. And he had to go on a fucking apology. He said he wasn't. Dave Chappelle said he wasn't going to apologize while he was on a fucking apology tour.
Apology tour, yeah.
Yeah. But I do feel like, sometimes in Kevin Hart's position, y'all see Kevin Hart walking away from $50 million?
No.
I don't.
I have to see.
I don't see him.
I do see him saying, listen, you guys, I already apologized. I'm not going to apologize no more. If you want to hear me apologize, just go through my my Twitter feed and scroll down to the day that I had apologized on the TV. But I'm not going to apologize anymore. I see him doing that. But 50 mil? No.
But my thing is, though, apologizing for offending certain people. So
you'll be apologizing forever.
And that's the thing. You're a comedian. Mm-hmm. So that means I gotta walk on eggshells. I gotta take certain shit that may be funny otherwise to everybody else. I gotta take that shit out of my fucking repertoire. Now, mind you, I'm an independent contractor. I'm trying to make this money. So the funnier I am, the more I'm gonna fill these arenas and stadiums and shit like that. So I gotta not offend people in order to get my full bag. And walking on eggshells, that's just, that's regardless of what fucking profession you is, that just shit ain't fun. It's not fun at all.
Right, because then you get a type of comedy that won't hit like it should. Because
it's gonna be
person is trying to be politically correct.
Safe comedy.
And then you'll get, hey, why the chicken cross the road to get to the other
you get
side?
safe comedy. Yep.
Because that's really all they can say, because the chickens is not gonna cluck in offense, right? Yeah. So let me just joke on these chickens because chickens are not on Instagram, right? They can't get my page taken down or my show canceled. So you go, you'll just say something that won't offend nobody, but then a true comedian will not be able to do that.
But let me ask you this though. So doesn't it depend on who the joke is coming from? And the reason I say this because
yeah, which
Bill
is why
Burr
Kramer couldn't tell the jokes. That's
Bill
why
Burr
Kramer couldn't do it.
Huh?
Yeah.
That's why Kramer couldn't tell those jokes, but Bill Burr can.
Well, my thing is Bill Burr is going to be limited though, because there's going to be some things that come out of Bill Burr's mouth as a white man that's not going to be as fun. I can guarantee you that Kevin Hart can say the same shit. It'll probably be funny to us, but if Bill Burr say the same shit, people be like, "Now hold on, now,
easy now."
You in particular, why?
Yeah, easy now.
You gotta say that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my question. Now, I have a question for that though. So, who would be? It seems like that would be holistic for the LGBTQ community, because anybody. It's not like it's limited to a white person telling black jokes. You know, it's not. But and I guess it's everybody. It's not just black people. It'll be white people, Asian people. I don't think there's anybody, no matter the ethnicity or race, that can tell a joke about the LGBTQ community and then not come with backlash, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But these are the questions that we have to ask each other when dealing with each other in this current society, where you're having to be careful not to offend almost everybody and everything. Now, working on not offending is a good thing, right? It's a good thing to be like, let me not offend nobody, because you don't want to intentionally just be out here offending everybody all the time, right?
Yeah.
However, if anything, like Dave Chappelle, if anything that you say is going to offend somebody, why put in any work? Let me just speak what the hell I need to speak and just not worried about nobody, because it don't matter what I say, I'm going to offend somebody. So I'm not even going to put any work or any labor in trying to soften no words. I'm just going to speak plainly. And if whoever's offended, y'all are offended, whatever. I can't overwork myself making sure that I don't offend nobody. That's just impossible.
But see, that's what I say. You're playing like safe comedy when you're doing it. Like, just like you said, it's going to be like the chicken cross the road comedy, and it's really not going to be nothing really you can joke about. It's just going to be. It's not even going to be joking anymore. Like, everybody, it's just going to be like nothing. You lose the essence of comedy. You lose that particular role if you can't be like that.
Trey, you know, and I'm glad Trey is right though, because it's kind of selective. It depends on who's telling the joke. But I think that I don't know if that applies to the LGBT community. And the reason I'm saying this because Robert John Downey Jr. didn't get any really. I don't think he got a whole lot of backlash for acting in blackface in Tropic Thunder.
Tropical Thunder, hilarious movie.
But Robert Downey Jr. is one of the greatest. I mean, he's one of the hot actors of our times or whatever. He was Stark in the Marvel universe and all that shit.
Yep.
And this is similar. He's not on Dave Chappelle's level, but Robert Downey Jr. is going to be able to get away with that, and not the countless people that they found in blackface and say, "Hey, this motherfucker was in blackface in 2008. Cancel this motherfucker."
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So the source is absolutely. I mean, unfortunately, it's selective. It depends on who does what.
Yep.
And there is a such thing as course correcting, right? So there is a such thing as somebody having done something, and then later on coming and saying, "Hey, I didn't mean to do that," or "This wasn't my intent when I did that." There is a such thing. That's why we have the word apology. We have the word sorry. Somebody did something, it landed incorrectly. They have to come back and course correct and say, "My bad," right? So we know that is a real thing. What I think it sometimes may come excessive is in 2021, you're going back to 2003, right? And then since 2003, you haven't seen me do anything else to offend or to piss you off.
Man, she was getting to that point.
Did Rebecca freeze?
Yeah, I think Rebecca froze.
Well, while we wait for her to come back, man, look at. So we got to get Sam on the show, bro. Look.
Yeah, Sam. This is legit. Like, I don't know how many shows. Look, Sam, you need to be on the show. I know you said you need a little drink in you, what have you, but Sam, you have an open invitation to come to this on the show.
This is dimes. Gold. This is pure fucking gold. This comment, damn, we got back.
Oh, two Beckers. Look at.
Let's remove one.
I was like, wow, you got a split screen right there.
The Matrix right now. But check this out. Hey, you see this? Becker, did you? You're not frozen. Okay, you.
No, she good. Yeah, she upset. I saw that face. She upset.
Hey, sorry, you guys. I don't never have these issues, but all of a sudden, this new phone is getting on my nerves. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Hey, yo, Sam be dropping some fucking jewels in the fucking comments, and like she said,
Uh-huh.
if I got to drag Sam on this camera myself, I'll find out where you
needs
are,
to be
Sam,
on the show.
I'm gonna come get you.
Yo, the jewels that she gives every time she speaks.
Every time, don't never miss.
I never miss.
I love it.
Don't laugh. Wait, you gonna come on? Wait, is she?
I surround myself.
You put that last comment up?
Does
that mean she coming on?
By great people. Don't laugh at me because I'm in my
onesie.
Are you coming on now?
Judgment zone.
We can send you the link if you would like to come on.
If you would like to come on, send the link. Oh, see that last little bit? Yes.
Thank you, Trey. Trey working on our behalf.
We're
gonna get Sam on this camera because I love this exchange. But I'm so sorry before my camera went out because they say go get the new phones, upgrade. No, anyway. What I was saying is that when you keep your old phones, they work better. But what I was saying is that when you go back and you course correct, I think that should be enough. But what's happening is people saying, say sorry and then bow down to me from now on. It's like you're holding that person's mistake, a genuine mistake, not somebody that just want to do some crazy stuff, but a genuine mistake. You're holding it over their head. Like with the Kevin Hart thing, he was like, look, y'all, I apologized already. I'm not going to be apologizing for the rest of my life. Take the last 10 apologies and I don't know, watch them every day. But every time you see me on camera, I'm not going to apologize to y'all. I already did it. And we know that understanding. We do that with each other in real life. Like, I'm sorry. I'm not going to say sorry every day. I'm sorry. That's it.
Yeah, and I completely agree because you can't imagine someone from that particular group. That's why I really wish we had somebody from that group. Like, if they did something horrible, and you just get into that. Like, if they did something from that group, the LGBT community would have, they did something horrible, right? And I think they expect us to just be like, oh no, that didn't exist. That didn't no. I think to me it's no, you gonna get the same type of situations. Look, people make mistakes. All right, apology, keep it, let's keep it let's let everything move forward. And I just think the Kevin Hart situation was just crazy. I was like, look, he said he was sorry. He had been did the apology way before. It's I have to keep doing apology every time something big comes up. I'm like, no, I've already did an apology. Why am I keep saying sorry over and over and over about the same situation? It doesn't make sense at all.
And that's exhausting. That's also unfair.
Yeah, that's unfair for the person.
Right. If somebody apologized and they've apologized multiple times and have made it their business, even before the apology years, they haven't said anything else offensive. And if they've apologized multiple times, accept the apology. But it's so easier to be a victim and oppressed than to just say, okay, I accept your apology. Right? It's easy to just be like, no, but you did me wrong, and you gotta make sure that you never do me wrong again. Women do that to men all the time. You gotta bow down to me, and now you gotta kiss my ass for the next 5 years, and maybe I'll forget what you did. It's at some point we gotta stop. We
do
doing that because we'll get nowhere.
We got I think Sam is backstage. Give me a thumbs up if you're ready, Sam. Okay. We're going to go ahead and bring on Sam.
Oh, this is a very, very special guest.
I'm ready. Hey, Sam.
Sam, what's happening?
Hi.
What's going on? How you doing?
I'm getting there.
I'm feeling fine.
What you sipping on, Sam?
My passion fruit drink.
Oh, that's the one you was telling me about. Fruit. Okay.
So before we talk to Sam, I just want to give my these is my people. Sam, my people. Her man Trey is my people. I bring nothing but good quality peoples, to the pod. I mean, so Sam, talk to the people. What do you want to? I mean, you've been dropping some jewels in the comments. Do you have anything you want to add?
Yes.
So, as a member of the LGBTQ community, I decided to watch Dave Chappelle's The Closer after hearing all the vitriol that came up because of it. And I'm not going to lie, when I first watched it, I did have some major upsetment. But sitting with the thoughts that it provoked, he makes great points about how the LGBTQ movement as a whole has progressed a lot further along in such a shorter time than Black-led movements have. And that's a discussion on a whole different level. But I can't speak much of Dave Chappelle's career. I was introduced to him later in his career. But from what I've seen of him, he is definitely a conversation starter. And a lot of these conversations
are perfect
had.
Wow.
That's perfect. That's a perfect thing. Yeah.
It's funny you say that, Sam, because I think we need more of those in the world. Conversation starters, where people just aren't.
You do.
Where people just aren't looking for outrage and looking for offense. Where people are looking for people that can start conversations so we can understand each other better. If that makes sense.
So Sam, I'm gonna try not to turn this into First 48 and interview you, but this is a question that my cousin had brought up earlier that I think that you can eloquently answer for us. So what was offensive?
So for me personally, what I found offensive in it was the intentional misgendering of his transgender friend at the end of it. I understand it was for a punchline, but to me, invalidating someone's identity isn't funny.
Okay. He referred to her as a her though, right? Or did he say something else?
Until he mentioned that he was going to give the money to his daughter.
Oh yeah. Yeah, okay.
I knew your father, who was a wonderful woman.
Yes.
All right, I got you. Got you.
I'm sorry, but I find that shit hilarious. I'm sorry.
Now,
I'm learning, but I'm sorry. I thought it was play on words, and
which it totally could have been. Just because I find it offensive doesn't mean that it's an indicator that what he said was offensive. Only he and Daphne know their relationship. And if that was okay with Daphne, that's between him and her. So
yeah. All right, okay. All right.
Yeah, okay. That's like the joke that he mentioned about he beat the toxic masculinity out of the chick.
That shit was hilarious.
That was hilarious too.
I'm sorry.
That was hilarious.
That was funny.
To me, that shit had like a double, triple meaning because that shit I was rolling when he said that shit. I'm sorry.
He's like, that's my girl. He's like, I'm so sorry. That's my girl.
And me, Sam, and Trey have laughed at some questionable shit in our dealings, but I thought that was fucking funny. I'm sorry.
That is crazy. So do you you've been listening since the beginning. Was there anything that you heard from us that you want to correct? Did you hear any of us say anything that was wrong or that might not have landed the way it was meant to?
No.
Okay. So why do you think that there is a lack of open-mindedness when it comes to these type of topics with this community?
Like I said in the comments, I can't speak for the entire community. I can only speak for myself and my experiences. Mm-hmm. But honestly, it's because everyone is so quick to be the victim. Everybody wants to be oppressed. Everybody wants to wants to have special treatment because they're not at whatever level they think they should be.
I've actually heard that people be fighting for the "I'm the most oppressed" award. Black
Oppression
people do
Olympics.
it. Women do it. Like you can't be more oppressed than me. I was hung from a tree. Well, what do you mean? My family was put into chambers and burnt to death. Well, what do you mean? I guess you know what I'm saying? Everybody's just
the one
wanting
to
be the most oppressed.
Each other around this. They try to out oppress each other, you know.
I've that right there is crazy. That part right there is crazy. But
honestly,
it's
part of why there's so much stagnation in a lot of these movements, because we're so busy fighting each other over who's got it worse that instead of coming together and realizing where the real oppression is coming from, white supremacy, patriarchal societies, and
we're just
going to continue this little bullshit fighting amongst ourselves.
Wholeheartedly agree with that. Very true. Yep.
So that brings us perfectly, Sam, to the next topic. Is empathy truly bisexual? What do you think?
How about you come back to me and I'll think on it?
Okay. So this particular question comes from the Daphne story. So if I am incorrect in explaining it, someone please correct me. So for many years, there was a friend of Dave named Daphne, a transgender woman. And there was a time, they have been friends for a while, even throughout all of these jokes that he has made. He and Daphne were friends. There was a time where he was in her area. I want to say he had a show and he wanted to open her, and he asked her to open for him, and she did, but she croaked like she was horrible. She bombed like terribly, but she still had a good time because all she wanted to do was go up there and tell jokes. They didn't have to be funny. The crowd didn't have to laugh at her. She just wanted to go out there and do it. He knew this and gave her the opportunity. And I believe that she had opened for him more than once, right? Is that right?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Okay. And what happened is she went on stage the very first time trying to be the funny comedian, and it didn't work. But backstage during normal conversation, he was like, Daphne is funny as hell. Like, just be you, be who you are on stage. And when that happened, it worked. Because of Daphne being a transgender woman and being friends with Dave, who was labeled a transphobic, she received a lot of backlash for being his friend from her own community. And throughout the years, although she received all of this backlash from being his friend, she still defended him and remained his friend until it just became too much for her and she committed suicide. Dave explains their friendship in a beautiful way because he explains that Daphne understood. Daphne understood where he was coming from in regards to his jokes. And although they were intentionally punchlines to land on people a certain way, she understood that he was still able to have a friendship from someone in that community. And he said that he took her death hard because all of this time they were both fighting for the same thing. As a Black man and Black people in this world, we are fighting for a certain type of equality that we see white people have. That's a kind of equalness that we're fighting for. And for Daphne, the equalness that she was fighting for was she just wanted to be considered human like the rest of us and not always be looked at as a transgendered woman. That was the equalness that she was looking for. So that equality that want for equality caused them both to have empathy for each other and the life that they were living as friends. So bisexual meaning going both ways is what people would say. This is what Dave Chappelle meant by empathy is bisexual. empathy has to go both ways. So what do you think, Tayson, about empathy being bisexual?
I think he's right that it does have to go both ways, because we have to understand, like, both groups have to understand where the other one's coming from. And I think, like I said, with Dave Chappelle, he wanted to open this dialogue, because I think some of this dialogue that we're having, he wanted to put this out like on full display, instead of like on Twitter or on, like, on a very small platform. He put this on a very, very big platform in terms of a discussion like this. I like I said, just like you said, Evelyn put it, like that story that he when he was talking about in terms of, like, with Daphne, it was just, you thought he was coming up to, because I didn't know the whole, like, the whole situation. I just watched the special, and I didn't know, like, the whole background, and I was like, oh, so this really, like, the person that he was up there joking about seeing the passing away. I'm like, oh, and it's hurt him, and you could tell, like you said, you could legit, like, somebody he known for a very long time, and it hurt him. And to see that the people that was attacking her, and those same people turn on her because she, just like you said, she had an opinion that was not against the that didn't agree with their particular opinion. They turned on her. And it's like you said, I didn't know what else that she had gone through in her life, because remember, he said he didn't know what else was going on either, and she ended up, like, killing herself, and he was mad. And I think we need, like, it's a lot more. It really does, like, it really needs to go both ways. I think I agree with that statement all the way.
Well, I will tell you, Tizon, it's unfortunate, but I think that every segment of whatever community, class, or racial group is like that. Whereas, like, with Black folks, I guess we call it cooning or whatever.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
With white folks, they call it, and if you defend anything Black, you call it lovers. But I think I like to liken it to every people. At some point, people eat their own. You know what I'm saying? The situation comes down to it. They're going to eat their own and turn against their own. It's the same phenomenon you see in politics, where you got one Republican that says anything that says, you know what, Donald Trump says some fucked up shit. Oh, that motherfucker dead. He is dead to each and every one of us. Fuck him.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just that thing where, instead of sticking together, okay, we have one person with a differing opinions. Fuck him. Fuck her. They're outcast. They're fucking dead to us. That's holistic. It don't matter if you. I mean, it's a proven fact, considering what Daphne's community did to her, and considering what every other group does to every other group, when it's like, you know what, they make a fucking valid point.
Right. I think. Go ahead. I was gonna give it to you, Sam.
It's the no true Scotsman argument, and it's ridiculous, because no one person is a monolith for their culture or their society or their community, and it's unrealistic to expect that of anyone.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
It is. You're right.
As far as empathy being bisexual, it needs to be. Unfortunately, it's not, because you have people out there who view empathy as weakness, and who take advantage of that. And so long as you have people out there willing to lie, cheat, connive their way to the top, you're going to have people out there that aren't going to be empathetic with others, because what good does it do them?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. You're right.
And I've never heard of it put that way either. The way he said it, empathy is bisexual. And I think after all of that time of offending people throughout the whole special, he ends it with, let's empathize with each other, right? Yep. And he's basically saying there's things that we go through as Black people that people who are not Black won't understand, and then there are things that trans people go through that we won't understand.
Yep.
And if we are empathetic with each other, a special like I just did wouldn't have even been able to exist.
True indeed.
That's the truth.
True indeed.
Because I wouldn't be able to joke about knocking the toxic masculinity out of a chick.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to say your father was the best woman I've ever known. Right?
Yeah.
We wouldn't be able to say things like that.
Hey, Becca, there was another one when he was like, they might get drunk and ask her for some pussy that she may or may not have. I'm sorry, that shit was fucking hilarious. I'm sorry. It just was. But harken back to what Sam said earlier, as far as Dave Chappelle being a conversation starter. I don't think that started with this special. I think it evolved based on his past work and came into something different. I think a lot of that has something to do with him walking away from that 50 million when, damn, I'm really making all of this money off of, jokes on making comedy and jokes regarding my own people. So I think it's imperative that we continue to have these conversations as uncomfortable as they may be, so we get a better understanding of each other. So there's total fucking inclusion, because that's the only way where we have these uncomfortable conversations.
I can't remember if it was something Daphne said or something that Dave Chappelle stated himself, but the gist of it was that you don't need to understand precisely what's going on with someone with them.
Daphne said
that they're having a human experience.
Yep, right.
Daphne
Yep.
Daphne said it.
That was deep.
I think, and this is why, and this goes back to my lack of faith in humanity, because people aren't recognizing the human experience in everybody holistically, regardless of their sex, race, creed, color, or sexual orientation. Yeah, and that's that's some deep shit to me. It just is, and I think that, that's when she said that shit. That shit really hit home for me. At the end of the day, regardless of whether I'm gay, straight, black, white, Jew, Asian, just recognize that I am having a human experience. I think that's not just for the LGBTQ community. I think that holistically, I think the world would be a much better place if everybody understood that on all aspects.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, totally agree with that.
Man, this was a good one. This was a good one. I'm gonna kick it over to Sam so we can get her up out of it. Hey, we appreciate you coming on. We appreciate we had to get you up on it because you was dropping so many jewels in the
special guest. A very, very special guest, man. Very, very special guest.
I will tell you, Sam and her.
I bullied you onto this camera. Thank you. I hope you wasn't offended, but I did bully you on here, and I appreciate it.
Don't let anyone tell you peer pressure doesn't work.
She is, I just want everybody to know she is 1/4 of Team Petty. We're gamers. We play. We go on the Xbox and we get it in on Call of Duty, the Division, all that shit. And this is my home girl. I rock with her, and I'm just glad you came on camera. But yeah, I wanna get some final thoughts from you before we get you up out of here.
Final thoughts.
Look at this one. Your biggest supporter. Look.
Look at
that.
Final thoughts. Dave Chappelle is a conversation starter, and if you want to have serious conversations, definitely watch his latest special.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's all I got. Thank you for having me on here.
Thank you, Sam. I will see you soon in the Xbox universe, as we always do.
Yep.
You have a good one.
You too.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you.
That was great.
Man,
I loved it.
We certainly do appreciate Sam coming on.
Oh yes, we do.
Hey, this was a good show, y'all.
This was a great show. Great topic.
Before we get up out here, man, of course we're gonna go ahead and go around the horn. I'm gonna start with you, Tazon. What you got for us? Close it out.
Oh man, look, I appreciate being on tonight. This was a great topic. We finally got her on. We finally got Sam
finally
on.
Sam on.
Finally
right?
got her on. Look, y'all do not know. Man, she dropped jewels as usual in the comments, and we finally got her in person. Sam, I know I'm speaking on behalf of everybody in the podcast. I hope this is not the last time you come on this podcast, because look, you'll drop serious jewels. Much appreciated. This was a great show. And also, look, we said this at the beginning part of this podcast. Look, you can be anywhere in the world right now, but you're here rocking with us.
Absolutely.
And, look, thank you for listening to us, talk about a very, very good topic. The Dave Chappelle, the closer. He's a comedic genius. And also, look, subscribe to our YouTube page. Subscribe, hit the like button. We read the comments. Some of these comments that were in our, for tonight's show could be brought up as a future podcast show later on. We're almost to 1,000 people on our Facebook page, so that's very tremendous. So people get the word out, and go to our Twitter page as well. And like I said, also we're on Apple Podcasts, we're on Google Podcasts, and shout out to everybody tonight. This is a great, great topic. Great, great show, as usual.
All right. Cuzzo, what you got for us? Parting shots.
I just want to encourage everybody. I know people use the term progressive to describe this new way that we have to think in this world. I'm only 41, and I've seen so many changes in thought processes and just different experiences. The things that our kids and even us as adults have to deal with now, we've never dealt with these things before. So everyone is still learning the pronouns and the understandings, the different letters in LGBTQIA plus community, what they mean, how to address people. What does this new world mean for the children that we're raising? I think that they're going to be way more ahead of the game than we were at their age. So I just, again, thank everybody for listening and those that are watching. And as you can see, you can be in the comments and end up on screen. So, we do encourage you guys to the reason why we do this live and we don't do this pre-recorded is for this, what you saw just happened.
Absolutely.
Somebody,
you never know.
We can bring somebody on stage at the moment and have that conversation. So we appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. This was a topic I wanted to discuss because I do believe that it is possible. And I wanted the guys to be an example of having this conversation with respect.
Yes.
So I appreciate everyone who listened and watched. We love y'all. We cannot do this without y'all.
All right. Hey, yo, I had a good time tonight. No cap. All love. Got Sam on. Phenomenal feat. Hopefully she'll be back. I'm going to get her back on. Got to.
Yes. Yes.
But she made a very good point, man. We need to have she said Dave Chappelle is a conversation starter. And I think we can get better understanding of each other is by having these conversations, whether they're hard, easy, indifferent, whatever. But having these conversations give us a better understanding of each other. And it helps with, people not being offended, this, that, and the third. I would be remiss if I didn't mention the squad, in its absence. Shout out to Sean, shout out to Merv, shout out to the homie Mark out there in Philly doing his thing. Shout out to Team Being. Hey, I have to echo what Tazon said because it's not about the quantity. I mean, the quantity of the people that's listening, because we're going to get different views based on what we're talking about. We know that. We absolutely know that. We recognize that. But like Tazon said, if we can reach 1 or 2 people out there, and I mean, you could be doing, it's fucking 10 o'clock, 10:15 in the East right now. You can be doing anything right now. You here rocking with us. You're listening to us, and that's enough. If it's just one of you, this ain't a competition and no shit like that. But we appreciate the listens. With that being said, we're gonna shout out everybody that's listening to us. That's viewing us on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, streaming on Twitter. Shout out to everybody that's looking at us there. Shout out to Single TV channel 198, Primetime Sports Wagering Network. Shout out to the squad once again in their absence. We always have a crew, whether it's a skeleton crew or not, coming to hit y'all across the head. We will keep hitting y'all across the head with different content, different shit about the culture, shit about trending current events, shit that y'all want to talk about. That real, that you can fucking feel. Know what I mean? So that being said, good show, y'all. See you all next week. Y'all have a good rest of the week and a good weekend. Salute.
Peace,
have a good one, y'all.
Good night.
Have a good one.